Hello everyone. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if animals could talk? Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that every animal around you can communicate with words. From your pet dog to the birds outside your window, they can all suddenly speak. This would change everything, from how we treat our pets to how we interact with wildlife, and even how we approach environmental issues. Today, let's explore the world of talking animals and how it could completely transform our lives. Before we dive in, do not forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more amazing content. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Now let's get started. First, let's talk about pets. We all know how important pets are in our lives. But what if your dog could tell you exactly what it needs? Imagine hearing your dog say, "I'm hungry," or your cat saying, "I don't like this food." This would deepen our emotional bond with them. Pet care would become much more personalized because we'd understand exactly what our pets want and need. No more guessing why your dog is barking at strangers or why your cat is hiding under the bed. In fact, studies show that around 67% of households in the US have a pet, and many pet owners believe their pets have emotions just like humans. But if animals could speak, we'd finally have proof. However, this also raises ethical concerns. Would we treat our pets differently if we knew they had the ability to communicate with us? We might have to rethink whether it's ethical to keep animals in homes as pets, especially if they can express their desires and dislikes. Next, let's talk about wildlife. If animals could speak, the conversation about wildlife preservation would change dramatically. Endangered species could express their fears about extinction, and we could hear directly from them about the dangers of habitat destruction. For example, a polar bear could tell us how global warming is affecting its home in the Arctic. Research shows that nearly 60% of the world's wildlife populations have declined in the last 40 years, mainly due to human activity. If animals could speak, we would hear their stories firsthand, and hopefully, this would lead to greater efforts to protect their habitats. Elephants could explain how poaching affects their families, and whales could describe the damage caused by ocean pollution. This kind of direct communication would likely make humans more conscious of our environmental impact, possibly leading to stronger conservation efforts. Now let's talk about the food industry. What if cows, pigs, and chickens could tell us about their lives on factory farms? They might explain how they feel about being raised for food, and this could create a huge ethical dilemma. According to the World Animal Protection, nearly 70 billion land animals are slaughtered for food every year. If we could hear from these animals, it could spark debates about the morality of eating meat and lead some people to reconsider their food choices. We might even see a decline in meat consumption as more people become aware of how animals feel about their treatment. Additionally, animals used for labor such as oxen or horses could also voice their opinions about their working conditions. This could prompt a reevaluation of how we treat labor animals in farming and transportation, possibly leading to better working conditions or even the phasing out of using animals for labor. Talking animals could also have a huge impact on environmental awareness. Imagine a bird telling us how deforestation is destroying its home, or a whale explaining how pollution in the oceans is harming marine life. According to the World Wildlife Fund, forests are being destroyed at a rate of 10 million hectares per year, and if animals could speak, they might be able to tell us exactly what that destruction feels like from their perspective. This direct communication would likely lead to a huge shift in the environmental movement. Animals themselves could become advocates for sustainability, urging humans to take better care of the planet. We could see stronger policies to protect endangered species and their habitats, as well as more widespread efforts to combat climate change. For example, if a polar bear could explain the harsh conditions it faces due to melting ice, it could motivate governments and organizations to take action. What about science? If animals could talk, it would open up entirely new fields of research. Scientists could study the languages of different species, exploring how they communicate and the cognitive abilities behind their words. This could lead to new advancements in animal psychology, neurology, and linguistics. Additionally, animals could communicate their physical ailments, making veterinary care much more efficient. Diagnosing and treating animals would be much easier, because they could directly describe their symptoms. In fact, a study published by the Journal of Veterinary Science found that one of the biggest challenges in veterinary medicine is accurately diagnosing animals, as they cannot verbally express their pain. With the ability to communicate, animals could help us understand not only their health needs but also how diseases and conditions might be similar between humans and animals, potentially benefiting both medical fields. The way society views animals would also change drastically. If animals could speak, they might form their own social structures, with councils or representatives advocating for their species. This could lead to animal rights movements becoming more organized, and animals might even have a voice in politics. In fact, some animal rights activists already argue that animals should have legal protections similar to humans, and if animals could speak, this debate would only intensify. Culturally, animals might become more central figures in media and entertainment. Instead of just being seen as pets or pests, they could become key players in movies, books, and even the news. Imagine hearing a documentary narrated by a lion, or an animated series starring a team of talking wildlife advocates. Finally, let's consider the future of our relationships with animals. With the ability to communicate, we would likely develop a much deeper empathy toward them. Instead of viewing them as lesser beings, we would begin to see them as individuals with thoughts, emotions, and desires. This could lead to stronger bonds between humans and animals, and a shift in how we treat and respect them. Animals could even influence global conversations on critical issues like climate change, animal rights, and the treatment of nature. This could lead to more global awareness and action on these issues, helping to create a more compassionate and sustainable world for both humans and animals. If animals could talk, it would completely change how we interact with them. From pets and wildlife to the food industry and the environment, nearly every aspect of our relationship with animals would be impacted. We would develop a deeper understanding of their needs, desires, and suffering, leading to better care and more responsible treatment. We might see new laws protecting animals, a decrease in meat consumption, and stronger conservation efforts. The world would certainly be a very different place, and hopefully, one that's more empathetic and respectful of the creatures we share it with. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Let us know in the comments what you think. How would you react if animals could talk? We'd love to hear your thoughts.